What is going on, you guys? My name is Rage and we are back today with now the next node here being the city nodes. Starting off here, before I dive into the gameplay and footage, I'll show you guys my quick 5 characters I'm utilizing for these nodes. So first up, Squirrel Girl. Loving what she brings on as support, her ult fence down, her healing, and her cleansing. Absolutely crucial. And fortunately it's been fun having her, and just having that sustainability has been really crucial for my overall roster and team. Shang-Chi being able to cleanse as well, having that synergy with Squirrel Girl and being able to provide support, but as well that Way of the Fury ultimate dealing a lot of damage, especially when they have a lot of positive buffs. Highly recommend. We got Cloak really being the main driver in our team, inflicting negative conditions, especially offense down, blind, defense down. It really gives us an edge in battle, especially when we're trying to crowd control and ensure that we reduce and mitigate damage. Ghost Spider really synergizing the rest of the team as well because of her ultimate web snare, being able to actually extend and spread out all these negative conditions, right? It looks like one character may be ending and we can refresh all of them and ensure that blinds stick for a little bit. And as well, her ability block is much appreciated, especially when we try to prevent a character from utilizing a cleanse or heal, so forth. And then last but not least, Scarlet Spider here, being able to extend negative conditions as well, dealing slow defense down, as well as some AoE damage, and his passive, no responsibility, giving that passive boost here of the 30% max percentage health being allocated to Ghost Spider. So having the synergies there, it's definitely really appreciated, overall rounding out my team. So there you guys have it. Let's dive right in now to the gameplay.
And fortunately with this node, it does start off better than the previous one that we did. You don't need as much luck, but you'll likely find difficulties in the next wave. But at least we can kind of showcase for you my first attempt here, and that seemed to go pretty smoothly in my opinion. So starting things off, you're going to see that we're up against a mixture here of the Black Order as well as that combination of Gamora and Nebula, a very potent combination. But so as long as no one dies in that first initial wave, we have Squirrel Girl healing here that can kind of add a little bit of support. Unfortunately, they do have the heal block on us, so right from the get-go, I am actually going to activate Shang-Chi's ultimate there. That way to reduce the turn meter, but as well as do some damage, just in time for Cloak right now to activate his ultimate. And this ultimately is what's going to keep us alive because of those blinds, and as well as disruptions, offense down, so forth. Now, what you're going to find naturally with this wave is that the right cluster there with Toad and Mortal, they are going to be weaker, so we do really want to extend negative conditions as we can. In this case, any of those enemies that have a lot of negatives, we got Ghost Spider being able to spread that and extending it with Scarlet Spider as well. An excellent chance here to activate Ghost Spider's ultimate here to actually spread the blind right away, so that way it's going to prevent damage, but as well we're able to take down our first enemy there, as you can see now with 30 out of 32 remaining here, doing some good work. They're all generally pretty squishy, so I don't think you'll have a lot of issues in the first wave. The big one just got to worry about is Magneto with his ultimate that blinds, and it does actually stall us for a turn, as you can see. And at this point you're gonna likely end up with a Gamora and Blob as the last two, and this is a really good time as you're wrapping up down here, same as per usual, right? Save up your energy, try to use the basic attacks, so that way we have our energy ready to go in the next wave here. Taking down Blob, it's going to prompt the next wave, and I actually would not recommend using too many abilities here in this initial wave, just because they're going to be very powerful. They're going to be unleashing a lot of damage on us. There's a lot of healers, Drax having the tank, Groot cleansing, Moon Dragon Phylaville, Adam Warlock combination, as well as a Death Pool. So I mean, it's a very dangerous wave. You're going to see shortly here, I just opted to let them go ahead and finish off my allies, just because I needed them to use their abilities. You can see they're just going to have a lot of buffs. And even right there and then, just in a snap second, 2 of my allies already go down. So this is why it's so powerful, a wave combination without Cloak and Dagger being on the team here. This initial wave that comes out is really just gonna absolutely blow your team away if you don't have negatives. And I opted for just soaking up their damage, so that way we can have a more meaningful second attempt here. Now, even in the second attempt here, we start off, they're just going to do a lot of damage. You're going to see the biggest struggle really is Drax having the taunt in the beginning, and the Infinity Watch cluster trio there that gets all those buffs. So once you're at a position where you can start off pretty good, Squirrel Girl having the heal there is absolutely huge for us. And now we can finally start our usual chain cycle of abilities, starting things off with Shang-Chi's ultimate, activating Cloak's blind, and that way it buys us time as well to be able to spread negative conditions. But I would actually recommend not using Ghost Spider's ultimate just yet. We're going to need to just extend some negatives here and do a little bit of work and damage. Now, for me personally, what I found really good for this node was actually Squirrel Girl's heal block, because it really did prevent them from healing. Mind you, Groot does have a cleanse, same with Phyla-Vell, but because they used some of their abilities from the previous attempt, it's really good for us. And what I found at the beginning here, the weakest enemy to take down right away is going to be some of the healers. So Scarlet Witch, you can see her in the top left corner being quite weak. You might have to just play it by ear, but she does have a pretty low health pool, so I took advantage of that, especially combining all the damage here, as you can see with Ghost Spider. And again, you can see Groot healing there, but it didn't really do anything because again, we got the heal block, so that really ensured that damage actually stuck and stayed consistent for us. And especially once we have blind and spreading it back with Ghost Spider, it does buy us a ton of time to do damage. And you see here, we finally finish off Scarlet Witch, and we're already down one enemy here, so that's really good for us. And again, that heal block just doing amazing work, and we'll again reduce their turn meter with Shang-Chi here, continually doing damage. So it's going to be a rinse and repeat, right? The gist of it is really being able to take down ability block key enemies such as Moondragon. I wouldn't worry too much about slowing down Drax or Mantis. Adam Warlock's okay as well, so as long as he's blinded, but you can see that our negative conditions are really making a really big deal in slowing these guys down. At this point, really play it by ear to see how your progress is going against this wave, because I was just focusing on the enemies that are weakened up. So in this case, Vision was the next one up just because of his health, and that looked pretty good in our eyes here. Next up was Adam Warlock, and as you guys can see, with how much heal blocks going on and these guys taking their turns, you should have enough time to continually use Shang-Chi's ultimate to reduce their turn meter, get energy back, and really leaving Drax and Groot for the end of this wave, because that's really where you want to be. Those two being tankier, they can take more damage, and you want to be at a point where you can build up energy in preparation for the next wave here, as I'm doing. Now we're just finishing off Groot here, and you can see we're more than halfway done the node now, so it's really good. 2 really meaningful attempts, right? That's really the biggest thing. Now this is where a lot of players are likely going to have issues because of this double Phyla-Vell, double Moondragon combination. Them being able to cleanse, but as well as having some damage dealers such as the 2 Pyros on the left there. Now you guys may not like my strategy, but what I actually opted to do here was another sacrificial attempt. So you're going to see very shortly here how powerful this wave is. They're going to completely blow us away. And a couple things, right? Feel free to use Shang-Chi's ultimate though, just to kind of weaken them a little bit, so that way the next wave, the next attempt, their HP will be reduced. But you see really quickly how fast our team's going to fall, and I did anticipate this. Just you can see the number of blinds. We can try to heal up the Soul Clutch, but the key here is really focusing on Moondragon and Phyla-Vell's abilities on being used, because you can see how easy it is for them to one-shot us. They got to heal and sustain. Look at all those buffs, right? That's why it just makes more sense. The reason why I do recommend using Shang-Chi's ultimate is because buys us a little bit of time. Also, he has a really short cooldown, especially once you follow up with his special ability. So we're okay in letting them fall even with their abilities. But key thing is, do not use Ghost Spider's ultimate and as well as Cloak's ultimate, because we're going to be needing that for the next attempt here to really make a meaningful attempt against this wave. Now this may take a couple of tries to kind of reset properly, but I got to a point where none of my allies died here from the start in the beginning, and we're in a good place really to start off our abilities in this wave. Now this is definitely going to be the perfect time to utilize all the abilities here, especially Cloak's ultimate, inflicting negative conditions. And I don't normally would recommend this, but given how powerful this wave is, I do actually would opt to use Ghost Spider's ultimate as well, because typically we use it as a refresher, but you can see just given how powerful this wave is, these characters on their end, I didn't hesitate to use the ultimate there to ensure that there are more negative conditions were being applied, and really just trying to take down as many enemies as we can, and opting to use Scarlet Spider to extend whatever we could to. Ideally, the blind would be super helpful, because especially both those Moondragons and Phyla-Vells, they can one-shot our characters, and that's really what's going to be the most devastating about this node. Afterwards, building up energy, you should get a chance to use Shang-Chi here, utilizing his ultimate, and he's just going to do some absolutely amazing damage here, especially with all those negative conditions, right? So we're looking pretty good. Again, the focus of this wave should ideally be anybody that's relating to the Infinity Watch. So that's going to be the Moon Dragons. It's going to be the Phyla-Vels. We do want them to go down because just given how powerful they are, and typically we don't like to leave them being at the very end just because of how tanky and powerful, and they as well, they can heal too, which is something to be mindful of. Now at this point, for my attempt, it turned out that Mortal and Moondragon were the last two. So then we go ahead now and just finish them off. Again, saving up energy. Try to do that at the very end when you're able to finish off at least and leave 3 of them. But you can see now in this last and final wave here, another dev combination lineup here where this Infinity Watch cluster is back, especially with the Groot and as well as a Captain Marvel. Now, again, similar to the previous waves, you guys, and I know this may be frustrating, but just go ahead and utilize Shang-Chi's ultimate, but everybody else, including Cloak's ultimate abilities, I actually would recommend not using them because you're going to see very shortly on screen here, they're just going to blow us up because of their damage. Even with us having some negatives just naturally from our basic abilities, the fact that Captain Marvel can hit so hard, and you're going to see our team just goes out really quick because for whatever reason, all the Phyla-Vels and Moondragons in each of these waves, especially Adam Warlock, they just hit so hard in the beginning that it's honestly just better off to let them use their attacks first. That way we can have our refreshes ready to go in the last and final attempt here on recording. Here we go now, entering the final and 4th attempt on this node. We're in a much better place now, letting them use their abilities at the beginning, but as well now we have the capability to actually activate our abilities to ensure they can stick. So Squirrel Girl's ultimate there, just to apply the heal block again, is a really meaningful way to ensure the damage can stick. And then it's again Cloak's ultimate here, just to ensure that we have the opportunity to actually utilize that. But I didn't use it just yet because you'll see right here, I am actually waiting for the Phyla-Vel and Groot cleanse. So that timing is extremely important. Just make sure you guys are watching for that, because if it's not something that you forget about, and when you go in, you're going to see that you messed up. They're going to cleanse the negatives right away. So you see right there, Phyla-Vel activating the special. So we're just biding our time, right? Always the key is timing, and again with Groot activating. So now that we have the trigger point of both of them activating their cleanses, we know that we can go ahead now and trigger Cloak's ultimate here. And similar to the last wave, do not hesitate to use Ghostspire's ultimate now, because we want to do as much damage as we can and ensure that these blinds can actually get spread, especially if there's some enemies that don't have it. We knew that, you know, both Groot and as well as Phyla-Vel utilized their cleanse already, so we are in a good place to actually be able to ensure that they stick. And then who I would recommend taking down is anybody weaker, such as Gormora that we've seen, and as well as Captain Marvel and Phyla-Vel, Moondragon, both of them, all of them really having those hard-hitting attacks. So here you go, Phyla-Vel goes down, and it's good because she is one of the cleansers on this team. And then next up, I would recommend whoever's weaker. In this case, for me, it was Gamora, and as well as Captain Marvel being squishy. There we go. And taking down Gamora, and then followed up here by a Moondragon. So in this case now, you can see it's Adam Warlock, Mantis, Groot. So I'm leaving some of the tankier enemies here because I do want to save them in terms of saving my energy for the last final node of the city being the next video. So that's why you want to leave these guys here, because they are tankier and they're going to allow, and they're going to put us in a good spot to actually be able to have enough energy to prepare for the next wave. Fast tracking here to save you guys a bit of time, and you can see now it's just Groot, and this is a great place to be because just keep using basic attacks and ensure that your abilities are all going to be charged up for the next node. And there you guys have it. Definitely, in my opinion, one of the hardest nodes so far that I've done in Dark Dimension 5, especially when we compare it to the first 3 that we just breezed by, right? These city nodes are definitely nothing to sleep over, especially if you don't have Cloak and Dagger for these nodes, respectfully. But here, as per usual, I'll show you guys here 4 total attacks, and really the biggest attack was being my second attack, but the meaningful attacks was attack 1 and attack 3, really setting up for the follow through and ensuring that our next attempt was really meaningful. So there you guys have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video on Dark Dimension 5. Thank you as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one.